Most books out there about Bitcoin are trash. They're elementary level financial advice fluff that you could get from ChatGPT. Even the big two, Mastering Bitcoin and the Bitcoin Standard, probably the most respected books out there, they really only cover part of Bitcoin. This book is different. Cryptosovereignty by Erik Cason. I knew it immediately. There's no fluff in here about why credit cards can be bad or why you need to read the Bitcoin white paper. He's in here talking about how Bitcoin is going to kill the Antichrist. Not an expression. He's being literal. The Antichrist is coming to Earth and Bitcoin is going to literally destroy it. Satoshi Nakamoto did not invent Bitcoin the way Gutenberg invented the printing press. Satoshi is a prophet, the same way we know Jesus Christ, Muhammad, John Smith. If I may read a short excerpt. Satoshi knew that if he were to commit the greatest crime that has ever been committed, the final crime, which both abolishes old money in society while constituting the new as well, there is no doubt that he would be branded an eternal enemy of any and all states. Thus, Satoshi knew he must have perfect forward secrecy as homo sacer to ensure that the violence, which can always find a particular body through nationalistic identification of the flesh, would never be able to unveil him in this space. Thus, as a final criminal of the old world, he is also the first citizen of the new world. You know, good luck finding that in Bitcoin for Dummies. It's an interesting book, maybe not for everyone, but for anyone who has just sat down and thought about Bitcoin. You know, turn off the TV, put down your phone, stop gooning, just think about Bitcoin. You will inevitably go down the same road as Erik Cason. As Barack Obama famously quipped, "What if everyone was walking around with a Swiss bank account in their pocket?" What does that really mean? The government cannot get their tax money. So what do you think happens to the local and the federal government, the military, the parks and rec for your city? It just changes everything. And now instead of the government having the power to support people, the dynamics shift back to the people. Now the people have the power to support the government. Separating money from the state will be just as world-changing as when the church was separated from the state. The public perception of Bitcoin right now is that it's gambling or some alternative money, but as Erik Cason lays out, Bitcoin is absolutely money, but it's not just that. Bitcoin is a weapon of war. It's a Trojan horse that continues to get wheeled into big banks and big institutions under the veil of crypto. And all these other joke projects act as a camouflage for Bitcoin as it grows and grows in users. This book, Cryptosovereignty, is a collection of essays more than a proper book with a beginning, middle, and end. So if it had any complaint, it's that certain ideas do appear to get repeated over and over. I still recommend it, but you're an adult. Check it out on your own if you want to make your own assessment. But if you want my big takeaway from this, it's the idea that in an age of relativity where everything is shades of gray, and I don't need to give you examples, but you feel it. Words, definitions, reality itself is just questioned and debated. In a world that is fluid and blurred, Bitcoin, the blockchain, provides a cold, hard truth. It's a scoreboard. Proof that work went into creating this block. Proof that all these transactions here followed the rules. And proof that no one using Bitcoin got screwed. A computer will always be black or white in its decision making. Humans can have a forked tongue like a snake. If the deal is made between two people, one can always back out and change the rules, lie. An open source project like Bitcoin shows its truth at all times. The program must run as it was made. I might be taking it a little too far to consider a pocket calculator as divine, but a computer can give a form of truth that is outside of the human realm. Binary thinking is both a simpler way of thinking and a more advanced way, because mankind cannot practice it, cannot live it. The most virtuous king from the past, or pick the most perfect modern democratic government you can think of. It all goes away in the event of an emergency. Eric hits on this point many times. History is nothing but emergencies. And every time one happens, all of a sudden, all bets are off. That promise the king made, that constitution that was written, it always has to bend when there's an emergency. Bitcoin's blockchain cannot bend. If a man loses his computer in a landfill, well, rules are not going to change for him. If a political action committee votes to create more Bitcoin, it's just not going to happen. Even if they threaten to turn off the network, even if a nation state uses its full resources to blow up any computer that downloads Bitcoin, okay? You can oppress your citizens for now, but computers outside of that country will continue to run the network. You can't kill an idea. And as many religions have shown throughout the centuries, persecution of their ideas is not enough to kill them. People look to Jesus for an example of a life without sin. Don't laugh at this, but Satoshi Nakamoto also lived without sin. Who or whatever you think Satoshi is or was, they did exist, they did create a miracle invention, and they did disappear permanently. They sacrificed themselves for the cause. This sacrifice not only gave up the money, it gave up any human characteristics that would inevitably have sin. Satoshi did call something retarded, which is what it is, okay? But because Satoshi did things the way they did, I don't think Eric is crazy for holding them in the status he does. And one other small criticism of the book is I don't really agree with the premise of the last god being a machine god. Zuckerberg, of all people, articulated something really well.
I don't know, there's like a bunch of people in the tech community who think like, oh, we'll just like separate out our consciousness and intelligence and like upload it to the cloud. And I'm like, that just sounds ridiculous to me. I mean, to me, it's like I think part of what makes you a person is you like are active and you have energy, right? It's not like we're not just minds, right? It's like I think the kind of the energy and like the love and all those things are like probably as foundational to what makes you a person.
And I agree with a lot of that. There are things worse than death. Imagine you're in the computer, you can't die, and somebody's trying to tickle you and you can't get away. Imagine it's happening for 100 years, 100 million years. I mean, that is possible if you put your consciousness in a computer. That is not heaven, that is hell. But I like this book for touching on this subject matter because it's absolutely the direction we're going in. struggling with questions of what is life, what is humanity, but all the while, the price of Bitcoin's going to be going up. Thanks for watching.